Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I want to test paint. So what does that mean? If you're starting with acrylic pouring, of course you can just go and have fun, but I always prefer to have some knowledge behind what I'm doing. And yeah, first rule in acrylic pouring is consistency is key. Everything that doesn't look like you want it to look probably has wrong consistency. But for the second part, I always advise to get some background knowledge, like how is paint basically set up, pigments and fillers and all that. And also color wheel, because then you avoid to have mud. But another thing is from different techniques you use basically different paints. If you have colors that have no contrast, you're gonna get probably something that is not so nice like in flip cups, but perhaps it's nice in something you won't like really settled, like a swipe from the middle or a Dutch pour. So if you now buy paint in a craft store, there is not much written on it. Normally from the more quality paint you have like markings, or you can read it in the internet where it tells you like with little symbols that it is opaque, semi-transparent or transparent. Like here, this is completely opaque, and like, yeah, I'm not sure how good that is visible. That would be transparent. But when I now go to my very new metallics that I want to test, this line is craft paint. It's available for sure at the Action in the Netherlands, Belgium and Germany. I don't know where else, but this is such a typical craft paint, and I was really happy to find it. Like big tubes for really cheap prices, metallics, and it's silver, bronze and gold, but I don't know anything about it. I mean, normally craft paint has more fillers and pigments, that's rather clear, so it might be heavier, and I want to know how will it behave. If I now drop it on black, will it completely drown? If I put it in a flip cup, will it all mix up? These kind of things. So the first test you want to do with these type of things is basically to understand if it's transparent or not. You can see the two paints that I just showed you, and I again don't know from lighting perspective, but if you make a line on a white paper and then put the paint over it, you can see how good you can still see the underlaying line. This is an opaque one. There is nothing visible of the line anymore. This is a transparent, and now the two new ones I see they are completely transparent. So for anything type of pour or acrylic pouring technique I use them, I need to consider these will not be dominant. This will sink in, they will mingle with other colors, these type of things. So I know that already. But now I also want to test it, means I'm gonna flood this little canvas with black and with white, because I want to see it on a light and a dark part. And then I also gonna use few different technique like things on the canvas. So for example, I'm gonna swipe over it, and I just gonna use it to swipe, so then I can already see how it sinks in or not, or these type of things. Okay, let's give it a go. I'm gonna test it now with a swipe from the middle. So I swipe something a little bit over it, and then I can see how it comes up basically. I'm gonna use a little bit of blue, or no, I'm just gonna use the black and the white. You can already see there's nothing visible for it, so on black it will basically drown, or under black it will basically drown. But it would be nice if you want to do a very, very soft something. That's a bit dumb to pour all this black over it. Yeah, so as you see, there's really nothing. There's it's under it. It's so transparent that you hardly see anything. So that's definitely the behavior you would see in any swipe, and in a flip cup it would be even worse because you have multiple layers of paint. Now we're going to see how it is if I don't pour over it, but if I just use it on top. So this is pretty. Again, with transparent colors you will always see the underlaying color. Means also you're going to get muddy if they don't work together from color wheel perspective. So here I see the gold, bronze and silver laying over each other, but because of that I don't see too much black at this point, but definitely the dark tendency, so it's not really like shiny, and I expect it to sink in. I'm gonna now put a tiny flip cup on it, with a little bit of blue just to have a contrast, and I only gonna use the gold and the silver because otherwise, like I said, if you have too many matching colors you don't see anything. Here this blue is rather opaque, so again that's something to consider. Not paying attention that it's going to be super pretty. I really just want to see how the paint is behaving. You can see now that the blue is really dominant, and there is really just a little sheen of the gold and silver on top of it. So that again proves about that it's really highly transparent, and from what I can see now I would probably only use it in something where I have a lot of dominant colors and I want something soft in between, and I would never swipe over it but use it to swipe basically. In a flip cup I can mainly forget about it, that's not gonna work. But what can look nice is if you want a real soft Dutch pour. With a Dutch pour, less paint, less color is best. You can do it on a dark background, but if you're a starter, use a white one. So here I could imagine that I have a very soft and nice look in the white, and that could be something to like too. I'm gonna put a little drop of blue. I have video on Dutch pour also on my channel. This paint is a little bit too thick for a Dutch pour, but again, this is just experimenting. I want to see how it looks when it mixes up, basically. So here I can see if I would have the right consistency in a Dutch pour, it would give me an underlaying nice background type of thing. Again, it would never give me like a dominant gold or something like that. If you want that, I would advise the DecoArt Extreme Sheen. That's really, really almost opaque metallic, which you normally never have. But this is just going to be suitable for some, what do you call that? I don't know. Settled look, like in a background, or if you have a pour where you just need a hint of basically glitter. It's more like glitter. For the rest, it does behave really nice. It doesn't form any lumps or things like that with other brands of paint, like the white is different and the blue is different. It also looks like it would lace, so that's also nice to know. I didn't add any silicone though. Okay, so I think I know everything about my little new paints. They were really cheap and I would love them as backgrounds or glitters or anything like that. They were going to be really great. I know now flip cups, wipes, etc. is going to be difficult. So really, yeah, just something to consider. Have a look at the basic playlist. There's lots of information about backgrounds on acrylic pouring, on how paint is set up, what you should know about the color wheel, this kind of things. And thanks for watching. I hope this helped you a little bit, and I hope to see you back soon.